Yes.
Record.
Yes, sir, we can start, sir.
Madam, you can start by the introduction, I
Yes,
think.
yes, yes. Dr. Sarvesh will start. Begin.
Okay.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
Namaskara.
As a part of Healthy Surgeon, Healthy Nation, this is ASI's one from our Karnataka past chairman's team, Dr. Shivaram sir. This year we have that one as a part of that one, and also we wanted, rather other than the academic parts, we should go for the other things also. This is the second one we are doing in the surgeon's time. Today we are with myths and facts, health, nutrition, and exercise. And topic is very nice, and the things are the practical part is very much needed here. I welcome our chairman, KSC SI, Dr. Nas, for today's program, and I request her to welcome all and conduct the program. Madam, please.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Sarvesh. Good evening, everyone. Respected dignitaries of KSCSI, immediate past president and director of academic council of ASI, Dr. Rajgopal Shenoy, sir. Past president of ASI and director of social services of ASI, Dr. G. Siddesh. President-elect Dr. Rajshekhar C. Jaka, Secretary Dr. Sarvesh Rajayars, Treasurer Dr. Gurubasan Gowda, esteemed EC members, all the members of KSCSI, students, colleagues, and friends. It gives me immense pleasure to welcome you to this important discussion, Myths and Facts on Health, Nutrition, and Exercise. As already mentioned by Dr. Sarvesh, this is a program initiated by Dr. H.V. Shivaram. He is our past president as well as a national EC member of our state. That is the Healthy Nation, Healthy Surgeon campaign. And we are conducting this through the same program. We all live in an age where health information is available in abundance, but there are so many things on the social media, WhatsApp messages, advertisements, and there is a lot of confusion. So somebody says one day you stop carbohydrates, and somebody says one day you take a lot of proteins, and somebody says protein is toxic. And there are so many detox diets which are available, and these are all based on individual experiences, or sometimes there are advertisements to the companies to push their products. So we as doctors are very less informed about this, and I always say we are not healthcare people, we are sick care people. So we actually don't really think about these health facts for the patients. And before that, we have to understand what these things, how important these things, and we have to start changing our lifestyle, because taking care of ourselves is also very important. And the IMA data already says that the doctor's lifespan is much less than that of the general public. And so we have esteemed faculty today to give us the various topics about to clear our doubts about this health, nutrition, and exercise. We have Dr. Sandeep Neeralgi, Dr. Dr. H.B. Shivaram, and Dr. Gaurang Ramesh, and Dr. Arunodaya. We have a mixed faculty today, and we are very happy to have all of you on board. And Dr. Raghuveer is a moderator and is very excited about it. And without much ado, I think we'll proceed with the discussions and on this, and break the myths and understand the facts of health, nutrition, and exercise. Over to you, Dr. Sarvesh.
Yeah, we'll start the program. Dr. Raghuveer.
Just a minute, I forgot to mention Dr. Gaddi Divakar's name. Dr. Gaddi, sorry for that. Good evening. Yeah. Okay, please proceed.
Okay.
Dr. Raghuveer, all yours.
Thank you, sir. A warm welcome to everyone. I thank KSCSI for giving me this opportunity to moderate this session. And today we have a team of wonderful doctors who are here to tell us what is right and what is apt to be healthy. And let us start. ಇಂದಿನ ಈ ಆರೋಗ್ಯವರ್ಧಕ ಸಂಜೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಸಹರ್ಷ ಸಪ್ರೇಮ ಸಸ್ನೇಹ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. Let's start with Dr. Sandeep sir.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Audible, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So, first of all, I'd like to thank everyone for giving me this chance to speak in this August audience. Also, it's a YouTube live platform. For the first time, I am talking on a YouTube live platform, and I'm extremely grateful to all of you. Actual time given to me is only 10 minutes. If I go into detail, it will be too much. So I'll be sticking to the 10 minutes. But if any particular question, I would like to go into depth of it. But whatever is the topic given to me, I'll stick to it. So the topic given to me is myths and facts about weight training and protein. So biggest myth we have seen or heard is weight training is only for bodybuilders and gym goers. Weight training and protein is only for bodybuilders and gym goers. Exactly, it is a very dangerous belief which keeps millions weaker, sicker, and fragile. So actual fact is everyone from teenagers to senior citizens should join the gym, should lift heavy, and they should do progressive overload under guidance. So the gym is not a vanity project, it's a longevity intervention. So muscle is the most important longevity organ of the body, which helps in metabolism, preventing falls, and keeps you independent during your marginal decade. So what is marginal decade? So the last 10 years of life is called marginal decade. Suppose I am destined to live for 90 years. The last 10 years of my life, that is from 80 to 90, is my marginal decade. So what all I am able to do during this marginal decade is very important. So before that is health span. So we'd like to extend the health span to lifespan as much as possible. So what happens in your marginal decade? If you fall down in your marginal decade and sustain a hip fracture, even with the best of the surgery and the best of the facilities available, you will rarely return to what you were earlier. And the 5-year survival rate post hip fracture in the marginal decade is worse than cancer outcomes. Strong muscles today are your only insurance against a disastrous marginal decade. So this I would like to stress a bit more, because even I didn't know it about 3 years ago. Muscle is your biggest metabolic sink. So if a patient calls me up and asks, I have become a diabetic, what should I do? Or a friend calls me up and asks, I'm a diabetic, what should I do? I'll tell them, please eat more protein and join the gym. Why you should join the gym? So considering your blood as 5 liters and your random blood sugar as 100 milligram percent, that means 5 grams of glucose is circulating in 5 liters of your blood. So suppose your ppbs is 150, that means 7.5 grams of glucose is circulating in your blood. Suppose your ppbs is 200, then 10 grams of glucose is circulating in your blood. Whereas if you consider that with the capacity of the muscle can store up to 400 to 500 grams of glycogen. That is exactly 100 times more. So people call muscle as a glucose sink. So I wouldn't call it as a sink. I would call it as a glucose reservoir. Whatever your capacity is like a syntax tank, whereas the muscle, that's a blood. So whatever capacity the muscle can store is as much as a reservoir or a dam. It is 100 times more. That's why every person should join the gym and should improve their muscles. So what is sarcopenia? Progressive age-related decline in muscle mass, strength, and function is called sarcopenia. We don't realize it. Actually, it begins in your 30s and it accelerates after the age of 50. So what happens during this time? Your gait becomes slower, your grip becomes weaker, your balance becomes poor, and hence you fall down. This is a very important line. You don't lose muscle because you age. Actually, you age because you lose muscle. You age because you lose muscle. So what is sarcobesity or TOFI? Thin on the outside or fat on the inside. So the problem is not only the patient is having sarcopenia, the patient is also having obesity. So the patient on the outlook looks normal, but is having a lot of visceral fat and is muscle depleted. So how to find this out? The most important metabolic marker for metabolic syndrome is waist circumference. So suppose my heart is 70 inches, my waist circumference should be less than half of it. So 70 divided by half, that is 35. It is not the place where you tie a belt, it's at the umbilicus or the largest circumference of your belly. So if it is less than 0.5, that means you are good. If it is less than 0.45, then you are healthy. If it is less than 0.4, then you are super healthy. It's one of the important biomarkers for metabolic syndrome. Now, there are two types of exercise, cardio and strength training. So both are required, both are required. Both are required to improve or reverse metabolic syndrome, insulin resistance, pre-diabetes, diabetes, hypertension, and coronary artery disease. But the difference between cardio and strength training is cardio is required, but strength training is mandatory. Strength training is mandatory. Weight training is grossly neglected because it is grossly misunderstood. And regarding protein, during our college days, we have been taught that 1 gram of protein per kg body weight is enough. But actually, no one talks about anabolic resistance. So, what is anabolic resistance? Your body's capacity to digest protein and to build up muscle reduces as you age. This is called anabolic resistance. So, that's why actually senior citizens need more protein than teenagers. So what are the types of weight training? One is routine weight training. When a casual gym goer goes to the gym and lifts weight, that is good, but it is suboptimal. What is hypertrophic weight training? This is only for bodybuilders, wherein they do a heavy load of exercises with lot of repetitions. That's only for bodybuilders. So what I am concentrating or suggesting today is strength training. So what is strength training? You should progressive overload with compound lifts. You can do fewer repetitions, but you should focus more on strength and form. So what is the protocol? So ನಾವೆಂದು ಜಿಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ರಿ ಏನು ಮಾಡೋದು? ಸೊ ನೀವೆಂದು ಜಿಮ್ಮಿಗೆ ಹೋಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೂ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಜಾಯ್ನ್ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಮುಂದೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅದನ್ನ ಹೇಳಾಕ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಎ ಬಿಗ್ನರ್ ಡೂ? Please go to the gym and start with the lowest weights which are able to do 6 repetitions. You should be able to do 6 repetitions. That is 1 set. You should be able to do 3 sets. Once you are comfortable, do 7 repetitions, 8 repetitions, 9 repetitions, 10 repetitions. The day you are able to do 10 repetitions, then increase the weight. So this prevents injury. So don't suddenly try to do heavy weights. So it may take 3 months or 4 months to you. If you are a beginner or joining the gym for the first time, please take a trainer because we don't want injuries. Bottom line, no injuries. Your form should be good and your posture should be good. So only after 6 months you can actually do strength training. What is strength training? Suppose I'm able to do 50 kilos of bench press, 50 kilos of bench press. So my first set will be 30 kilos of bench press, 10 repetitions. My second set will be 40 kilos of bench press, 10 repetitions. My third set will be 50 kilos, which is my capacity, 10 repetitions. This is not the end of the matter. So what is progressive overload? After doing your maximum capacity, you should add at least 2.5 to 5 kilos. You should add, not heavy, not very heavy, but then you should do it till failure. So what is failure? Failure is I am unable to do any more repetition. That is called failure. So 55 kilos, even if I do 4 repetitions as a fourth set, that is fine. That is progressive overload with compound lifts. This is progressive overload. So what are the important things you should remember? So your muscle breaks down when you are doing lifts. It recovers when you take adequate protein, and it recovers during sleep. So sleep is very important. So recovery happens during sleep and only if you take adequate protein. Don't repeat the same group of muscles for 72 hours because the muscle group needs 72 hours to recover. So if I am doing biceps today, I should not do biceps tomorrow or day after. I should give a gap of at least 72 hours. These lines are very important. Please understand your body. Make small changes. Don't do heroic ones. Listen to your body. Respect your body. What is respect your body? Don't overtrain. If you think here is mild injury, don't overtrain through injury. You should recover 100%.
Sir, last minute, sir.
Yeah, fine. So how to measure muscle? Dual energy X-ray absorptiometry is the one which helps in finding out the how much muscle mass, bone, and this is there. According to me, all Indians are vegetarians because even if they are non-vegetarians, they have it once in a week and the quantity is very less. So you should have one scoop of, especially for vegetarians, 1 scoop of whey protein gives 25 grams of protein, or 150 grams of paneer gives 150 grams of protein. So how do you distribute it? So if you're having 3 meals in a day, you should take at least 30 to 35 grams of protein per meal. Or if you're having 2 meals, you should have at least 50 grams of protein per meal. So what are the macro rules? Prioritize protein, control carbohydrates, don't fear fats. Prioritize protein, control carbohydrates, don't fear fats. So we tend to overeat on the carbohydrates. We eat more than we eat quite a lot. Actually, we should have less than 130 grams of carbohydrates per day, or less than 50 per meal. So if we attend a family function, social gathering, or birthday party, starting from welcome drink, charts, meal, desserts, we land up eating 400 to 500 grams of carbohydrates, which is wrong. So why am I taking all this trouble? Two more slides. Why am I taking all this trouble from now? So in my marginal decade, I want to play with my grandchildren on the floor. I want to travel with my grandchildren and my friends, travel all the airport stairs, long walks. I should be able to attend every family function, wedding, housewarming comfortably. I should visit the doctor rarely. As a doctor, I am telling this, but it is true. You should visit the doctor rarely, not because you are avoiding the doctor, because you don't need to meet the doctor. You are so healthy. This line is the most important line. Be financially strong, be musculoskeletally stronger. This is my last slide. From primary school days, we have been hearing health is wealth, health is wealth. But we realize it too late, and we realize it only in our marginal decade when it is too late. So please realize it before it is too late. Be happy, healthy, energetic till you are alive. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now we have Dr. Shivaram, sir, to enlighten us on fitness and lifestyle high altitude trekking.
Thank you, KSC for this opportunity. I will share my screen. Is it visible?
Yes, sir, visible, sir.
Okay. So, little bit about lifestyle, fitness, and high altitude. In 10 minutes, I think I can only give messages, not good big talk, which we can continue during the question hour. Friends, in the school, we are taught everything except for how to maintain our own body. You learn how to maintain your car, but we don't know how to maintain our own body, what to eat, how to take care of our health. So holistic perspective about life is not taught at all. Even doctors, we know very little. And if you see, if you are in good health, we can do so much contribution to the body, to the society. If it is in the low health and low level, we will be always diseased or some problems. Health is not just being disease, that is without any uneasiness. There is a lot of things, physical, mental, emotional health, everything. The root cause of many diseases, lifestyle diseases, you all know all these things, smoking, drinking, processed food, and lack of the socializing, lack of sleep, all the things. Lifestyle has to become our life, and our life totally depends on our fitness. If you want to celebrate your life, be fit and enjoy your life. So what is lifestyle? Healthy lifestyle depends on only two things. What goes into our mouth daily and what is our daily physical activity. So if you eat badly, your body will be bad. And if you are eating mindfully, then you can have a wonderful life. Fulfill your need, not your greed. So if you eat food like medicine, then you need not eat medicines like food in your older age. So eat a lot of proteins and fiber and probiotics. Avoid carbs or reduce carbs. How you live before 50 or 60 years decides on where you live in your old age, whether at home or in the hospital. So be careful. When I say all this, everybody wants, nobody is willing to listen to lifestyle changes. There are no takers. Everybody wants pills and surgery and correct their body. Exercise is not just walking. It combination of all cardiorespiratory like fast walk, jogging, cycling, muscle strengthening, which has been stressed very much by Dr. Sandeep, and stretching and balance. All these things, if you do, then only you can say you're doing daily exercises. You know, Akshay, he says, if you cannot find 1 hour a day for yourself to exercise, then you have no right to live. If you don't find here, we'll soon find time there when we go out of this world. Daily exercise is the best insurance against every ill health. So don't give excuses. To do exercises, there is no good place or any time. Any place is good place, even whether you're working, whether in the hospital, whether you're in a 5-star hotel, whether you're traveling. And any time is good time except in full stomach. So excuses we all give, but those excuses should not stop our daily exercises. Wherever you are, at whatever time, and if you do your good exercise, definitely you will be strong, healthy, and contribute to your family and also your society. Yes, we have to balance everything in life. It is one life we all have, and we have to live it fullest. Whether it is family, career, health, friends, socializing, all these things we have to do along with our surgery and professional work also. Finding a balance is very, very important. So I feel trekking is one excellent activity which can keep us fit, healthy, and happy. It's a group activity, and you learn how to live a minimalistic living, and amazing views we'll see when you are trekking, because those things cannot be seen any other way. And beautiful sites you can visit. This is Machu Picchu. Impossible, there is nothing called impossible if you are a good trekker, and whether you're younger, everybody is equal when you are trekking and challenging yourself. Few words about high altitude trekking. It is a tough job. We have to plan yourself, train yourself. High altitude is anything above 2,500 or 3,000 meters height. The atmospheric pressure, oxygen is lower in this height, and it's demanding because of the rough terrain, rugged terrain. But the rewards are so very good. Epic views, endurance, self-discovery, great friends, all this you'll get when you are trekking. Altitude changes all the rules of life, because hyperbaric hypoxia reduces inspired oxygen pressure, even though oxygen remains the same as in everywhere else. But the amount we consume becomes less, and it gives a lot of difficult walking and trekking. The mountain is an honest clinical laboratory. At altitude, lifestyle habits become physiology. If you have developed all the lifestyle habits, then only you can adventure all these things. Fitness becomes a reserve. Judgment becomes survival. When to ascend or when to descend, when to stop. And in mountains, in high altitude, slow is fast, because with every step we are doing acclimatization. 3 disciplines which are very important for a safe high altitude trek. Lifestyle, which I already said, good sleep, nutrition, hydration, recovery, and mental steadiness. That's the foundation. Capacity building by fitness exercises of all the types I mentioned, at least 3 to 4 months before trek. Altitude craft, that is acclimatization, pacing, symptoms, and when to descend. Safety is the first, that's the judgment. And always when you are training before, you always trek in the footwear and the gear you use for the trekking. So here you can see it is with backpack, running, mountain climbing, and then strengthening exercises. All these are important, along with this yoga, meditation, and pranayama before doing high altitude trek. Trekking is a whole body intervention. Cardiometabolic health, musculoskeletal resilience, brain and mood improves. More than that, your professional longevity improves, because it's an excellent medicine for fatigue and burnout. What to do and what not to do during trek? Before starting the trek, carbohydrate loading, and then begin with good hydration. During the trek, eat small frequent carbohydrate portions and drink enough to quench your thirst. So sipping and snacking. After that, evening, take good protein diet with carbohydrates, enough of sleep and good sleep, and no sleep in the post-lunch time. So recovery depends on all these things. Acclimatization is adaptation. It can, when you start high altitude, in the minutes, its ventilation increases, heart rate increases, and you feel harder to climb. But in days, you get adjustment and acclimatization starts. And if you are there for weeks, then erythropoiesis and all the tissue adaptation will progress. Acetazolamide is always advised by many doctors, but we have to carefully consider whether it's a moderate, high-risk ascent and unavoidable rapid descent, suddenly have to ascend, or there is prior altitude illness. So it is individualization is important, and it acts by carbonic anhydrase inhibition, causing diuresis and stimulates ventilation. Counseling is also important because tingling and numbness should not be scaring for a people, and also a lot of diuresis. So prophylactic, and this time when I went, they gave only therapeutic. Even if you develop acute mountain sickness or anything, they gave. Otherwise, we did not take prophylactic during our Everest base camp trek. Acute mountain sickness, we have to identify headache plus symptoms, anaxia, etc. High altitude cerebral edema and high altitude pulmonary edema require immediate descent and may require hospital treatment also. Largest trek to Machu Picchu we did in 2016, wonderful trek. Then Kilimanjaro was the highest trek in July 2023 with beautiful views, and the Kailash Mansarovar, September 2025. Not only 3 days of endurance, altitude, it involved devotion also. Everest Base Camp, May this 2026. Difficult trek, but very, very rewarding. The next planned trek is the Annapurna Base Camp trek. So, dear friends, our real life partner, if you see, is our body. Our body is our asset. If it is diseased, it becomes a liability. So this is our permanent address. So more we care for it, the body will care for you. Stay fit, stay healthy, stay safe. Nowadays, children don't want your assets, money, or anything. They want you to be healthy, safe, and so that they can enjoy their life. So live your life which others envy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, sir. So next we have Dr. Arunodaya Siddartha, having cardio for health, why doctors should run. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. At the outset, I want to thank KSC ASI for giving me this opportunity. And I'll be speaking on cardio for health, why doctors should run. We tell our patients to exercise, lose weight, control stress, and live longer. As a doctors, are we following this? It's a paradox, a doctor's paradox, that rarely we follow this. Yeah. So this is because of our long shifts, night duties, or because of the sedentary lifestyle, staying, sitting in the one place in the OPD or standing for long hours in the operation theater. All this increases the stress, and which raises the cortisol level and also our blood pressure. Along with that, we have a sleep disturbance pattern which disrupts our recovery. And being a doctor, we protect others, but the white coat doesn't protect us from cardiovascular risk, stress, inactivity, or aging. Occupational factors accumulate silently over our career. So running is a simple, accessible exercise, aerobic exercise, which needs no special equipment except a good pair of shoes. And we have also seen our own urologist who runs barefoot miles together, and it tells that people can run miles together without a good pair of shoes. And it doesn't require any expensive gadgets, and just it requires you to be consistent enough to be regularly trained. And this one habit of running, it involves the 4 systems. The heart, when we start running, our breathing, we breathe in slowly, it takes transports and use the oxygen, and the heart muscle functions well and pumps blood throughout the body, and that's how the cardiovascular fitness happens. And when we start running, the breathe in and breathe out slowly, and also the steps, I feel like it's a heartbeat. So it calms our mind and elevates the mood, and also it improves on the metabolism. We can have this hormonal balance, insulin sensitivity increases, and also endorphins are released, which keeps us calm. The bone and muscle strength also will increase. So you need to start small. To begin with, you start with a brisk walk for 15 to 20 minutes a week, and then once you feel easy or comfortable, you can add on jogging for the 20 to 30 minutes in your own pace till you feel easy, and then you can extend your duration to 30 or 40 minutes. Sudden long distance run can cause people who have a sudden long distance run, they can have they're prone for injuries. So always better to go with each with your own pace and never to compete. Having a good footwear. If you're planning to run on a road, have a good proper shoes with the rubber soles, so that you will not have problems like shin splints or a shin sores. And shin sores, which is a common early pain when the people stop running. This shin splints or shin sores is caused by having a long strides or walking, running downhills very fast. By doing so, the forefoot, the front of the foot slaps on the ground very hard, and which creates the muscles on the leg tears and irritates the muscles and nerves in the leg. That's why this is treated with just a ice pack rest. So always start build gradually, one stage at a time. First, you need to have a 20 minutes runs duration of 15 to 20 minutes runs. It beats a one long run with a week of inactivity. So it is very important to have the frequency or consistency, and recovery days are part of the program, and do not break from it. And always our efficiency is measured by the how we feel it, and not by the pace or the speed. And it is rewarded by the frequency or consistency, and not by the speed at the start. So along with that, we'll have to our training program involves 2 to 3 days of running in a week or a brisk walking, and followed by 1 to 2 days of strengthening, which strengthens the bones and the joints. And recovery phase involves sleep, hydration, rest days, which allows adaptation. Our goal is with all this is not to become a runner, it is to become fit. So you don't need to train for a marathon. Start where you are, build gradually. You combine aerobic exercise like slow running and with the strength training and recovery. The winning strategy is consistency. Consistency every day, you need to be there. I think the early morning hours are the best, where you have where everything is calm and you can focus on your breath, and even you can enjoy the nature. The healthier doctor can inspire a healthier patient, seeing, and he will follow whatever advice we give seriously. And one small habit today, it shapes the healthier career ahead. So always it is better to have a good habit like running. When we tell a patient to become active, our advice becomes more powerful when we leave that ourselves. we become role models, not just prescribers. So this fitness, this running or a fitness is not just an event, it's a way of life. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for patient here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arunodaya sir. Next, we have Dr. Gaurang, the gut health. Over to Gaurang. Dr. Gaurang.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present alongside my teachers and mentors. It's an absolute honor to be presenting in this KSIs. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity. So today I would like to, in 10 minutes, I would like to just drive home two concepts of the perspective of how we should look at gut and the concepts of how we can build a resilient gut. So as surgeons, we are very thorough with looking at the anatomy. We can look at endoscopy, colonoscopy, CT scan, but there are 5 functions which we cannot evaluate based on the structure is the digestion, intestinal permeability, the gut microbiome, inflammation in the gut, and the enteric nervous system. So since the time is short, I will stick to looking at the gut microbiome itself. So there is so much of noise about the gut and the microbiome, but the doctors are silent about it because the technology is moving very fast in how we understand gut. We initially studied how to look at a pathogen with culture. Then once we wanted to identify an organism, we started doing PCR. And then with 16S RNA, we could identify exactly what strain of organisms there are. And with shotgun metagenomics, we could understand what the strains are capable of and what it can produce. And now with the understanding of metabolomics, we are able to understand what genes can get switched on in the communities and what metabolites these communities are producing. And when now the AI is able to integrate data from genetics, microbiome, and metabolomics, and we're able to understand what it is able to do to the host as well. So today's understanding of microbiome has changed in the last 10 years. So we have to look at it like an organ and not just organisms, because as we know, the surface area of the epithelial cells of the small intestines is really large, and 90% of the serotonin is produced in the gut. And we also know that vagal afferent fibers are actually more active than the efferent fibers now. So we have to, our perspective of the gut and the microbiome has to be looking at it as an ecosystem rather than just as an organism, because we need to look at what the organisms are producing, what they're able to ferment the fiber and produce the short chain fatty acids like the acetate, propionate, and butyrate, what transformation activity it's doing, like changing the primary bile acids to secondary bile acids, changing tryptophan to serotonin, and converting some of the xenobiotics, how it's able to educate our immune system by helping us develop immune tolerance. And then it's also fueling our colonocytes with butyrate and also helping us maintain tight junction health. So with all these metabolites the microbiome is producing, it is able to communicate with the liver, have an influence on the glucose regulation. It's able to communicate to the nervous system, have effect on the brain, and also, of course, the immune system, because microbiome plays a huge role in developing immune tolerance. So we have to look at the epithelial barrier of the intestine also has an output of this, because the mucin production is dependent on the microbiome. And once the microbiome changes, then the tight junction barrier effect reduces, and then the endotoxins from the microbes can start having an impact on the immune system. And once the lipopolysaccharides and the endotoxins come in, it can have an impact on the systemic system. It can lead to metabolic effects. It can lead to immune problems. It can lead to autoimmune conditions also. So the key concept we have to understand here is the diversity, because maintaining diversity is like biological insurance, because there are different microbes which can produce the same effect. So if we look at the microbiome of two different individuals, it can have different organisms, but the quantity of the functional output we need can be the same from these different microbes also. So that is why we have to understand that all microbes, the influence of all microbes is not the same, and the quantity of the microbes also may not. It's not required to be the same. There are certain keystone microbes which have a far greater impact than the other microbes. And what we feed the microbes, the dietary fiber, it's again, it's like an ecosystem that some microbes break the fiber, some microbes help in intermediary conversion, and then that is fed to the final set of microbes which will give the short chain fatty acid output. So that is why we need to feed the ecosystem. And when we tell we need to increase certain fiber, it's not just to increase feeding certain species, but feeding certain the entire ecosystem itself. So when we look at this, how we have to finally answer what is a resilient gut. And so a resilient gut is ability to have a stable digestion, ability to tolerate different kinds of food, recover after a small food poisoning, and it's not less protocol dependent. So the healthy gut should be able to tolerate different kinds of food and also recover from food infection very fast without having a lot. So
Last minute.
modern lifestyle is able to, a lot of factors are progressively eroding this terrain. The low fiber diet is less substrate for the bacteria. Stress has a huge role. Circadian rhythm disruption has a huge role. And some of our medication also we'll have to make sure we don't use it without any indications. And when we look at dysbiosis, we have to look at it as a cascade and not as a single finding. So the exposure of these dietary and lifestyle changes can lead to reduction in diversity loss, which can then lead to reduced function and then lead to the intestinal barrier issues and then have systemic effects. So how do we, in briefly, if I have to conclude on how we should look at building a resilient gut, is first is we need to remove the microbiome disruptors. So we have to introduce more variety of foods. We have always looked at the nutrition as what we feed has calories, but we have never looked at nutrition as what is feeding the microbiome. So we should start looking at what feeds the microbiome as well, and restoring autonomic balance, improving parasympathetic activity, and also making sure we use the microbiome disrupting medicines responsibly. And like I said, how do we diversify the substrate? more variety of fiber, more variety of plants will provide more variety of fermentable fiber, which will then feed more species of microbes. And polyphenols and phytonutrients is something which we never realized the importance till now, because, like I said, we always looked at nutrition as what is giving us calories. And these phytonutrients and polyphenols were considered as anti-nutrients and not really helpful for the body. But now we are able to identify more than 300 different phytonutrients which are basically feeding the microbiome. And whenever tolerated, we have to include fermented food.
Can we rush, Gaurang?
Yes, sir.
Dr.
Last slide. And finally, the physiology and the autonomic nervous system is very important. And maintaining the bowel and the oral health is also very important. Finally, I would like to conclude as it should not just be which pathogen I should kill and which organism I should feed. It is the concept is how to maintain more diversity and reduce functional redundancy, and that leads to more resilient gut. Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gaurang. It was a fantastic talk. Now we will move to the interesting part of the session. We have so many questions. So we'll start with Dr. Sandeep, sir. Sir, I have a question from Dr. Narayan Kabadi, sir. Why to cut short carbs when the balanced diet says 60%?
There's actually, when you're trying to balance it, there's nothing called balanced diet. You should, the 3 points which I already told, prioritize protein, control carbohydrates, and don't fear fats. We have been overeating carbohydrates. So when we tell try to eat less carbohydrates, otherwise we overshoot on the carbohydrates. So in fact, people have been staying, there are a lot of diets available, and people have been avoiding carbohydrates and staying healthy for a long time, including keto diet. But it is specifically prescribed only for Alzheimer's or epilepsy or other things. But otherwise also, low carbohydrate, high fat, and moderate fat. Low carbohydrate, high protein, moderate fat is what is good for everyone, which is a which I call PhD, that is physiologically human diet or proper human diet. PhD is proper human diet. So there are a lot of permutations and combinations. Don't
Yes.
overshoot on the carbohydrates, because carbohydrates are the only things which is spike your insulin. So when we spike the insulin, that's the main reason. Eating too frequently and eating too many carbohydrates is a cause for insulin resistance, and insulin resistance is a cause for all the diseases in the body.
Yes, sir. And thank you, sir. And Dr. Chandrasekhar, sir has a question saying that a 70-year-old 70 kg man, what is it the same proportion of the protein, carbohydrate, and fat, sir? Is it the same, sir?
It's the same. It's the same. So try to take at least 30 grams. If you're having 3 meals in a day, try to take 30 grams of protein per meal, because 30 grams of protein is what stimulates mTOR. mTOR is a hormone called mechanistic target of rapamycin. This hormone, once it's stimulated, only helps in building the protein. So if I am giving a choice of 60 grams of protein in a day, I would have 30 in 2 meals. I don't mind having 0 in 1 meal. But if you divide it to 20, 20, 20, then all the 3 meals become 0. So per meal should be at least 30 to stimulate mTOR, to stimulate muscle building. And you should also lift weights to help this protein come into this. So senior citizens should eat actually more than teenagers. Teenagers can get away with only 10, 15 grams of protein, but senior citizens actually need more because there's anabolic resistance.
Yes, thank you, sir. Before I go to next couple of questions, any seniors who wants to ask question from the Zoom meet? Okay. So the next question is by Dr. Harsha, sir. He wants to ask whether to go for a commercially available thing.
Yeah,
Available proteins.
in fact, for vegetarians, it's very difficult to get 30 grams of protein in 1 meal. So it's better to take whey protein or fermented yeast, or you can have paneer. So these are only things you can have. Soya also you can have, but then the bioavailability comes into the picture. So vegetarian source of protein, the bioavailability is 60%, whereas non-vegetarian source, whey protein and paneer and dairy sources, the bioavailability is 100%. So if you are a vegetarian, yes, you should take either, if you can tolerate paneer or anything per meal, 30 grams per meal. Okay, otherwise you should take whey protein. Whey protein, it should be standard brand. It should have at least 4 or 5 certifications. And most important certification is third party certification, telling that it's not fake, it is true. And each scoop of whey protein should have 25 grams of protein, and it should have less than 5 grams of carbohydrates. Lot of whey proteins have got more than 15-20 grams of carbohydrates per scoop. So per scoop, more than 25 and less than 5 grams of carbohydrate.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a last question, sir. This is my personal. Do you advise a bulky muscular man or a lean man, sir?
So bulky muscular man, I wouldn't advise. It is high, it's only for the bodybuilders wherein they're attending a competition. But even these bulky bodybuilders, if you ask them personally, it remains only for 21 days. Suppose I've attended a bodybuilding competition and won the gold medal there. It remains, the bulk remains only for 21 days. So there's no point in running after the bulk and looking good. Strength training is a better option, wherein strength is the only medicine and insurance which will prevent your fall in your marginal decade and will make your marginal decade more successful. Now, most of the children, grandchildren are telling, we don't want your money, we don't want your money, but we don't want to see you in the hospital because we don't have time to come and sit beside you in the hospital.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last question, sir. Any contraindications, sir?
If you are already having any kidney problem, then it's advisable to check with the doctor and then take protein. Otherwise, it is safe. There's nothing wrong.
Thank you, sir.
Dr.
Raghuveer,
Raghuveer has a
Raghuveer,
question.
one question, if
Yeah.
you don't mind.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead, sir.
Sir, thank you very much, sir. Nice talk. I am a senior citizen, number one. Of course, as not anywhere near Dr. Shivaram as for the fitness. Anyway, leaving apart that, sir, you suggest paneer 2-3 times. It's not recommended. I don't say recommended, but you don't get that paneer in South Indian thing. What is your alternative?
See, paneer, 100 grams of paneer gives 20 grams of protein. 100
So-
grams of tofu gives 13 grams of protein. Otherwise, actually, paneer and cheese are the only things. So, if you can tolerate egg or if you're eating egg, it is fine. One egg gives 6 grams of protein. So, come to the vegetarian part of it. One bowl of dal gives 6 grams of protein, but also gives 20 grams of carbohydrates. So, if you take 3 bowls of dal, you get 20 grams of protein, but you are getting 60 grams of carbohydrate. You are overshooting there. So, and a vegetarian source is a class 2 protein, wherein a vegetarian protein does not have all the 9 essential amino acids and the bioavailability is less. So, if you go by the official scoring, PDCAAS, protein digestibility converted amino acid score, it should be 100. For a non-vegetarian and eggs and dairy, it is 100, whereas vegetarian source, it is only 60. So the digestibility score is 60 and you don't get all the 9 essential amino acids. So if you are getting pure vegetarian, you have to do your permutation and combination. Only point is don't overshoot on the carbohydrates, but try to get 30 grams of protein in one meal.
Carbohydrate part is very clear, sir. I'm just trying to tell the local adjustment of the food related to the each region. That's the only thing. Thank you, sir. That's all.
Every 10 kilometers you go from in our country, the strange part in our country is every 10 kilometers you go, the cuisine becomes different, the food becomes different, and the local things become different. So it's very difficult to formulate a diet. Only point is have at least 30 grams of protein in a meal, have less than 50 grams of carbohydrate in a meal.
Noted, sir.
Correct.
Sir,
Noted.
in
Thank
daily,
you, sir.
sir, in daily cooking, we use oil. So how much oil is recommended per head per day?
Sir, madam, there's something called omega-3 and omega-6. So omega-3 is in fish oils and other things. I don't want to go into that. Omega-6 is present in the modern day oils, which we call seed oils or vegetable oils. They contain omega-6. So omega-6 is the main driver for inflammation in the body. Omega-6 is the main driver for the dysbiosis of the gut. Omega-6 is the main driver for your fatty liver, insulin resistance, coronary artery disease, everything in the body. The normal percentage of omega-3 to omega-6 should be 1:1. But even if it is omega-3, 1, omega-6, 4, it is still good. But the problem in Indian diet is the percentage of omega-3 to omega-6 is 1:40. So if you have to compensate this, then you have to take 6 tablets of omega-6 in the morning, 6 in the afternoon, 6 at night. Then it will come to 1:4. So I wouldn't recommend seed oils or vegetable oils like sunflower, oil, safflower oil, peanut oil, soybean oil, palm oil. We think only palm oil is bad, but all the other oils also have omega-6, which is very bad, which is the most inflammatory thing which can cause harm to all the organs in the body.
Sir, I am Dr. Raghuveer.
Best oils are, sorry, I'll take only 10 more seconds. Best oils for cooking are heat stable oils like ghee, butter, and coconut oil. Ghee, butter, and coconut oil are the three fat stable oils. They don't contain omega-6. They are good for cooking. And olive oil you can use for normal this, but if you are using olive oil for tadka, wherein if the smoke arises, then cis fat is converted to trans fat. So if you are using olive oil, then don't you see to it that the smoke does not arise. If the smoke arises, then olive oil becomes poison.
Sir, I am Dr.
Great
Raghuveer.
research, Dr. Sandeep. Much better than any nutritionist or dietitian. Excellent.
Yes, sir.
Excellent. I think we should have more talk with you.
Shivaram, sir, I'm hello.
Yeah, please.
Sir, the whole egg or the only egg white? Because one egg means 6 grams protein.
Yeah.
So if you want 30 grams, so much of
now the recommendation is to take whole egg. Till then they say
whole egg, but if you want
white.
30 grams means what?
No. See, 2 eggs, 2 whole eggs you take, you get about 6 to 12 grams of protein. Without taking whey protein, it's almost impossible to make up the protein requirement for a vegetarian. So all of us should take, as Dr. Sandeep said, a good whey protein daily. Along with paneer is very much available in South India, sir. Nandini makes, then Amul makes excellent paneer, and tofu, and all the other vegetables, some of the things, soya, all these proteins we can take, sir.
Sir, if somebody wants to consume eggs in a larger number, how many eggs can a person take per day?
Dr. Sandeep.
Dr. Sandeep, please.
I'm eating 6 eggs per day since 8 years. So if a maid doesn't come on a particular day, my breakfast is 8 eggs on that day for breakfast, and my HDL is 62, my triglycerides is 45. My HDL is 62, my triglycerides is 45. So you need not be scared about that. So even if you want to think about LDL, so LDL also there are 2 types of LDL, the large dense LDL and the small dense LDL. So even if you are eating more of egg, the large dense LDL increases. So you need not be too worried about it. So please have eggs whole. So if you want to have only egg, you can have 6 eggs per day. The first thing I heard was 8 years ago when Obama was the president. His breakfast for his whole 4 years of presidency was 6 eggs as breakfast, as a meal, first meal of the day.
Even for those people who have this altered lipid profile also, sir?
Yes. So if you want to do altered lipid profile, you should do the NMR panel or advanced lipid panel, wherein the LDL is divided to see how much is large, fluffy, buoyant LDL, which is good LDL, which actually helps in reducing the inflammation of the gut, whereas the small dense LDL should not be taken. So, but the problem in India is we don't have that test. So that's the biggest problem. Everyone concentrates only LDL. So if you go by the parameters of metabolic health, 5 things are told: waist circumference, fasting blood sugar, other things. But most important, they have concentrated only on triglycerides and HDL. So triglycerides should be less than 100, HDL should be more than 50, and triglycerides divided by HDL should be less than 1.5. Triglycerides divided by HDL should be 1.5. So in this metabolic syndrome whole thing, even if you see any lecture for 2 years, LDL is nowhere in the picture. So triglycerides should be as less as possible and HDL should be as more as possible. So 3 drivers for triglycerides are sugar, jaggery, and fruits. I'm very sorry to say fructose is the main driver for triglycerides. So if you want to improve your HDL, then exercise improves HDL.
Dr. Naz, there is enough research now to say dietary fat intake will not increase your cholesterol or lipid profile in the body.
Yes.
Carbohydrates are the culprits.
Yes.
That we have not understood at all. We eat carbohydrates and blame the fat.
Yes.
Sir, Sandeep.
80% of your fat is produced from the liver. So there is de novo lipogenesis. 80% of cholesterol which is circulating in your body is produced by your liver. And if your liver is already having fatty liver and you are overloading it with carbohydrates and fructose, then that's when your triglycerides becomes more and HDL reduces. So de novo lipogenesis, 80% of circulating cholesterol is produced by the liver. It is not the oral what you take.
Dr. Siddesh,
Yes,
very
yes,
nice
yes.
of you to join.
Welcome, sir.
Yeah. No, I've been listening to wonderful lectures. I've been really very, very important session. I really congratulate the organizers having taken pain and also selected right people. And especially the diet part, which we never given a lot of importance. We know now how intricate and how important it is. I came to know about diet once I started doing exercise. My muscle mass started getting melted than putting on muscle. So then I came to know the amount of protein because being a vegetarian, then I started taking, my trainer told me you have to take 6 eggs minimum because what you are taking protein is very, very low. So then my waist went down because I'm burning my carbohydrates getting burnt off, whereas protein was not there in the diet. So ever since now, for the last 6 years, I have been continuous or more than that. I've been taking almost 4 to 5 eggs in a day. But I don't know. I was totally educated today. I used to avoid taking cholesterol. Only I used to take egg whites and only two yellows. Two yellows in the morning, two eggs with yellow. And evening I used to take only white. Now I see yellow is quite okay. So I don't mind taking along with it then. So that's what. But I always thought, maybe I'm wrong, if you take carbohydrate, you need to burn it. If you do exercise regularly, the carbohydrates get burnt off. So that is what you should be doing. But one thing I took a decision about 10 years back is I stopped taking sugars. That really helped me. So sugars, strict no. So I may be wrong. I need to be educated. So that is one thing which I recommend. I said strict no to all dry sweets and no added sugar to coffee or tea. That has really helped me. But I didn't know fruits are taking in large quantities bad because I used to eat a lot of fruits. Thank you.
One fruit a day.
Sir, only three fruits are good, sir. Blueberry, blackberry, and avocado are the only three fruits which are good. Fructose otherwise is bad. A sugar molecule is a disaccharide. It contains one molecule of glucose, one molecule of fructose. So sugar and jaggery both contain fructose. You don't think it's only glucose, it contains fructose. Fructose is 7 times or 700% more dangerous than glucose. It causes 700% more chances of glycation than glucose, and it causes 100 times more oxidative stress than glucose. So fructose is a poison. So even if you want to eat fructose or fruit, it should be only small part of the fruit, this, and at the end of the meal as a dessert. Please don't eat fruit as a meal, or don't eat fruit as a first part of the thing. It should be the last thing as a dessert. Eat little fruit, then no problem. But only three fruits are good: blueberry, blackberry, and avocado.
Not available.
Sir, how about
Fantastic.
milk, curds, hung curd? Do they add to our protein volume?
It is very less, madam. Quantity is very less. How much you want to take, that becomes a problem. That's why paneer comes into the picture. So Nandini paneer, 100 grams gives 20 grams of protein, but gives only 1.5 grams of carbohydrate. The best part is only 1.5 grams of carbohydrate. So if you want to consume only milk, then how much you will be there? It's very difficult. So if you go to a normal social gathering, vegetarian gathering, you will end up eating 400 grams of carbohydrates and 10 grams of or 10 to 12 grams of protein, but 400 to 500 grams of carbohydrate.
Curds you can take. That's
Hung
probiotic
curd.
also.
Yeah, curd is definitely good, no?
Curds definitely good.
Hung
But
curd will have a little
protein percentage, then you have to go for Greek yogurt, which contains more percentage.
Correct.
And avoid flavored curds, which contain a lot of sugar. Please don't eat flavored curds.
Sir,
Right,
I have a question here. That is, all our medical proteins, since it is a doctor's forum, all of them have less protein, more carbohydrates, and they add maltodextrin, which is again going to spike your insulin. So why do we not have something talking to them? Yes, sir, please, sir.
Maltodextrin is an industrial carbohydrates. It's an industrial sugar. It is 3 times more dangerous than sugar, and it is it is 10. It is 1/50th the cost of sugar. Sugar now is today is 80 rupees per kilo. It is 1/50th the cost of sugar. It is given as a industrial filler. So whenever you're buying anything, please look at the back of the label. If it contains maltodextrin, then it is going to spike up your postprandial or post meal sugar by at least 40 points with just one content of maltodextrin.
So then we boycott all the proteins available in our medical stores, in our pharmacies.
Maltodextrin should be
All
avoided.
of them have maltodextrin. So
Please
I
check.
think we should start looking at the labels.
Yeah.
And then what is the protein we should prescribe to our patients? This is one of the reasons I wanted this forums.
So it should have at least 5 certificates, and the most important certificate is the third party tested for its authenticity, and preferably if the product is being exported outside India, that means it's very good, because Western countries the rules are very strict, and in a Western country, if it is exported out of India and it is found to be wrong, then what they are claiming, they have to pay in millions. So they are very sure and they want to see that it's fine. So if the certificate is third party tested and it is also being exported from India, then it's a good product. One scoop should have at least 25 grams of whey protein, and it should have less than 5 or 5 grams of carbohydrate, not more than that.
Whey isolate.
Yes,
That's what I have to take.
Yes, whey isolate.
Not the sweetened ones.
Yes.
Now India is making whey protein after many years that this last year or so started. That's quite good actually.
But the way India gets is very less, because we produce less cheese.
Can't hear you.
The India produces less whey because we don't take it as a separate thing, because we produce less cheese.
No, only this
cheese
year they
market
started
is-
making whey protein because technology was not available.
Okay, sir.
And what they are making now is a good one actually.
Yes, sir.
Tata is making.
Then what about the yeast protein, sir? Nowadays it is come much into the market, yeast protein.
Fermented yeast protein is a very good protein. Definitely you can take it. It's a very good source of protein. So there are 3 points. The common terminology is bioavailability is good. So if you go by the scientific terminology is PDCAAS. So protein digestibility converted amino acid score. So this is tested at the end of your large intestine, whereas DIAAS, so digestible indispensable amino acid score, is tested at the level of the small intestine. So for this fermented yeast, it is 100%, it is good. You can take it. Basically, it is bioavailability.
Yeah, I had one question for Dr. Gaurang regarding the sleep and the fiber. Can you just explain a lot of things coming, because the internet is flooded with that. The fiber and sleep, what induces sleep, and so if you can, I think that I have put up a question there.
Yes, ma'am. So the basically the tryptophan pathways and the serotonin pathways, ma'am, are governed by the microbiome activity. So a lot of protein which is giving tryptophan, supplying tryptophan, will improve the serotonin pathway and then improve the quality of sleep. And that is the relation with the fiber. But in terms of the amino acid, the glycine pathway will significantly improve the quality of sleep. But it for people with it increases the dreams also, glycine pathway. So people sometimes the quality of the sleep is not great, but in general, the the quantity of sleep improves with tryptophan and glycine.
One question, Dr. Gaurang.
Yes, sir.
See, is what the doctor should take the take-home message. Technically, scientifically, we understood, but what do you advise to increase the gut health? What everyone should take, that will be helpful. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So some since this whole field and science is evolving, sir, in terms of strict guidelines, it is difficult to tell, sir. But like how Sandeep sir was saying, the artificial sweeteners, if you look at just the caloric aspect, they will advertise it as better than sugar, but then the microbiome effect of artificial sweeteners are really it can have a disruptive effect on the microbiome. That's why on a long term, people who take artificial sweeteners, the insulin resistance gradually increases compared to sugar. So every nutrient will have to look at the aspect of the microbiome also. So all kinds of preservatives, if something is invented to avoid growth of organism and added to the food, then that will avoid that will have a disruptive effect on the gut also. So all ultra processed food, all artificial sweeteners, all preservatives will have a disruptive effect on the microbiome. In terms of oral intake, there are two aspects, sir. One is the migratory motor MMR will have its function every 90 to 120 minutes. So having at least 4 to 5 hours gap between the meals will have an effect on improving the motility. So if we keep having small meals every 2 hours, every 1 hour, it won't allow the MMR to have its full cycle from the stomach to the anus. And in terms of feeding the microbiome, the diversity of plants, diversity of fiber. So people who have who are satisfied with very small variety of vegetables, they only eat rice, rasam, sambar, and very few vegetables, and they say they're fine. So they have a very fragile gut, and they will have a sensitive gut. So being in your regular lifestyle, having more variety of vegetables will feed more variety of organisms. And so also any extreme diets, for example, carnivore diet or a vegan diet or a keto diet will have good effect only for a short time, because any extreme diets will remove processed food. So because we have removed the processed food, you get the benefit for short time. But as you follow the extreme diet for many months, then the effect on the microbiome will start playing, because it is so restrictive. Then the diversity will start reducing, and then they start getting chronic GI problems. So everything in moderation is the key for the microbiomes.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Dr. Jaka,
only
you
30
want
seconds of my
messages?
understanding.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shall I
Please.
give?
Only 30 seconds, madam.
Yeah, please.
Yes,
So,
Stop purchasing white rice. Second thing, stop purchasing sugar. Third thing is start cooking yourself. You will learn a lot and your health definitely improves.
You don't cook much, so don't have a hassle of cooking. Don't eat much.
there are 37 trillion. There are
Dr.
37.
Sandeep, you have a question. What about creatine?
creatine. Yes.
Creatine is a lot of doctors also confuse creatine with creatinine. Creatine is different. Creatinine is different. Creatine is the most widely researched supplement in the world. There are more than 5,000 articles on creatine. Creatine is very much useful to the body. So when you are exercising, ATP is converted to ADP, adenosine diphosphate. That's why you feel fatigue and other things. So whereas this creatine donates one phosphate molecules and converts ADP to ATP. So when you're taking creatine, definitely you can lift better, lift for a longer time, or if you're endurance or hiking, you can do things better. Earlier they used to ask for loading dose of 30. Don't load with 30. 5 grams of creatine is good for the muscles. 5 plus 5 for the brain. 5 grams is required. So I would recommend 5 plus 5, 10 grams of creatine per day, 5 for the muscles, 5 for the brain. And it's the most widely studied supplement, does not cause hair loss, does not cause any other problem, does not cause kidney problem. Already, if you're into dialysis or having chronic kidney disease, only then you should consider the problem. It does not cause any difference, the hormonal imbalance. It's one of the good things. In fact, in teenagers to senior citizens, everyone should take creatine according to me, and they should take 10 milligrams per day.
Yeah. I just want to ask Dr. Gaurang one question. A lot of people want to skip the breakfast, and even Dr. Sandeep sir also skip breakfast, and then they have a direct lunch in the afternoon. That is one thing. And second is weekly fasting. How useful these are, and is it better to take smaller meals in between 3 meals, or just 1 meal a day, and what is the best for each one of us?
Shall I go first, sir?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So, with fasting, ma'am, again, moderation is definitely, there is a lot of evidence now. 16 hours fasting is the only contraindication I feel is any low level of gastritis, stomach mucosal inflammation, where the basal hydrochloric acid is contributing to symptoms, pain. That's the contraindication for fasting. Otherwise, if the person is able to fast, I feel that also is a reflection of a resilient gut. And extreme fasting is where the problem is with the nutrient deficiencies, the muscle loss, and the electrolyte imbalances. But 16 hours per day fasting and 24 hours per week fasting, I think today has enough evidence that it's quite safe if the stomach and the gut health is fine and the motility is fine.
Sandeep sir.
I am doing intermittent fasting since 2 years. So initially I started with a 12-hour window, then came to 10-hour window, then come to 8-hour window, then came to a 6-hour window. Once I came to a 6-hour window, I was able to eat only 2 meals a day. Only when I started eating 2 meals a day, I was able to reduce 20 kilos. But in spite of that, my insulin resistance was slightly there. So that's when I did 1 meal a day for 1 month. That's when my insulin resistance came down completely back to normal. Now my fasting insulin is 5. Earlier it was higher, now it is 5. So 1 meal a day helps in radically reducing your insulin resistance, whereas it is not doable by everyone, and it's not required to be done all the time, because it's very difficult to take 100 grams of protein in 1 meal. That was the biggest problem for me. So 2 meals a day is good enough. So if you can tolerate, so best is if you can tolerate, if you have an eating window of 6 hours and a fasting window of 18 hours, then you can have 2 meals a day. It is fine. I have done 5 days fasting, 120 hours fasting once. I have done 4 days fasting once. I have done 3 days fasting 10 times, and 48 hours fasting I've done more than 10 times. So the very wrong concept is you lose muscle. No, you'll not lose muscle. If you are doing intermittent fasting, your testosterone levels are 3 times higher, your growth hormone levels are 3 times higher, your basal metabolic rate is higher, your body fat thermostat is lower. So 5 points. Testosterone is 3 times higher, growth level is 3 times higher, your body fat thermostat is lower, and your BMR is higher. So you don't lose muscle, but you lose only fat. And once you start refeeding, that's the most important point, where in the sequence when you start refeeding, and protein is important. So you should not be so scared about it. I'd like to add one more point regarding gut and intermittent fasting. So there are 37 trillion to 100 trillion bacteria in our gut. So it depends on how many good bacteria and how many bad bacteria are there. This is my perspective. Please, Gaurang can correct me if I'm wrong. So if you're eating too frequently, and if you're eating too much of carbohydrates, and you're eating till you sleep, that is even beyond 6 o'clock, then you're allowing the bad bacteria to grow. So the good bacteria are suppressed. So if you are doing intermittent so the bad bacteria got a very short half-life, the good bacteria have got a very long half-life. So if you are eating very less and you're using less frequently, then the bad bacteria automatically the number comes down and the good bacteria automatically it increases. So if you are doing intermittent fasting, even if you are having 37 trillion bacteria in your gut, the amount of good bacteria in gut will be better, the amount of bad bacteria will be less, and it is seed the feed. Seed the feed. So first of all, you should see to that your gut has got a good environment for the good bacteria to grow. So once you are giving this environment and the good bacteria grown, then you give fiber in your diet, 25 to 30 grams of fiber. Then these fiber is digested by the gut bacteria and they produce butyrate, and through the vagal nerve they send a signal to the brain telling that I am fine. So if your good bacteria are good, if the percentage of good bacteria in your gut are good, then it is very easy to maintain weight.
Shall we brief up, sir?
Yeah, I think.
ನಾಟಿ ಕೋಳಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ
we have-
ತಿಂತೀರಾ ಮಾಮೂಲಿ ಫಾರಂ ಕೋಳಿ ಮೊಟ್ಟೆ ತಿಂತೀರಾ?
Yeah.
Sir,
Is there any difference between the two in egg only?
ಸೊ ಎಗ್ ಇನ್ಫ್ಯಾಕ್ಟ್ ನಾಟಿ ಕೋಳಿ ಅದು ಕಾಸ್ಟ್ಲಿ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಸರ್, 12 ರೂಪಾಯಿ 14 ರೂಪಾಯಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಅದು ಸಣ್ಣದು ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಾಟಿ ಕೋಳಿ ಒಳಗೆ 6 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಇರಲ್ಲ, ಬರೀ 4 ಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಖರೆ ಅದು ನೀವು ಅಡ್ವಾಂಟೇಜ್ ಏನಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ನೀವು ಏನು ಕೋಳಿ ಈಗ ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಕೋಳಿಗೂ ಕಾರ್ನ್ ತಿನ್ನಿಸಿ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾರ್ಮಲ್ ಎಗ್ ಒಳಗೂ ಒಮೆಗಾ 6 ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ನಾಟಿ ಕೋಳಿ ಇದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಒಮೆಗಾ 6 ಇರಲ್ಲ. ಸೊ ನೀವು ನಾಟಿ ಕೋಳಿ ಆದ್ರೆ 2 ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು, ಮತ್ತೆ ದುಡ್ಡು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ.
Actually, I find that excellent way to learn all these things. You can put questions to Gemini or ChatGPT,
yes, sir.
or you can tell what you are eating from morning to evening and put your age, weight, height, everything, and
Yes.
it gives an excellent diet chart to you, whether you are vegetarian or non-vegetarian, and you can just follow it. It gives good amount of proteins, everything it gives. That's the best way. I thought I'm using it for patients also, and it works out very well. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Sir, I
Now you
have a
can
couple of
conclude.
questions to Dr. Shivaram, sir.
Oh,
Dr. Sangamesh sir has asked any specific exercises before and after OT.
actually, I showed in my
Yes, sir,
presentation also.
saw the video.
Stretching exercises are excellent. If you
Yes,
are doing yoga and all, best is stretching exercises before also and
Yes.
after the OT also.
Yes, sir. And Dr. Chandrasekhar SR sir has asked afternoon nap. Is it dangerous?
Afternoon nap is bad. Actually, there is one called Shatapadi. After food, you should at least 100 steps you should put. And if you go to sleep, the visceral fat increases, the abdominal obesity increases. So it is better to avoid afternoon nap.
Okay, sir. And our Naz ma'am has asked how to start acetazolamide for mountain sickness before,
Okay.
sir.
So
Even
there
I
are
had
two
this doubt,
views
sir.
in this. One is prophylactic. I didn't go in detail.
Yes,
Other
sir.
one is therapeutic. Prophylactic is a lot of people take 2 days before the starting the high altitude trek. You should
sir.
start 200 mg OD or usually BD. And the problem is it causes gradually a lot of tingling, numbness, sometimes headache, and lot of you have to go for urination and you have to take lot of water. Otherwise, you'll get dehydrated and electrolyte imbalance occurs. So we were all told you should take 2 days before. This is what we used to do. But this time, our Giri Premi team, they said, don't take acetazolamide. Even the Everest goers now, mountaineers, they're not taking it. Only if they develop symptoms, they will start. So advantage is it doesn't cause any of the side effects, what I said, and you need not drink too much of water. And every time, half an hour, 1 hour, you need not go to for peeing. So this worked very well actually. So only if there is a symptoms or high altitude sickness, we can take. Otherwise, we can avoid. It's always a controversial, but I think I have learned it in a hard way. It is good not to take and take it only when some symptoms occur.
Got your point, sir.
Answers?
Yes,
Got
sir.
your point.
Yes, sir.
Sir, which was your favorite gadget, sir, and which was very useful, which you would advise everyone to have it? When you went-
Our brain is the best gadget.
Yes, sir.
I don't use any of those watch, gadget, anything.
Yes,
But
sir.
it's good to
Pulse.
have at least calories, time, everything. But
sir.
once you becomes a habit for you lifelong, you know how much to run, how much to walk, how much to exercise, everything.
Yes,
So many times my children give me Apple Watch, other watch, everything, but they're all waste.
I would just like to add the strength training when you are doing. We need to track how much we are doing to progress. Otherwise, you keep generally forgetting how much weights and all we did. There's one app called a heavy app, sir, H, and I found that it is very good for tracking what you're doing. So you can track, and then it will give you how much you can progress also. If you have done some weights after this, after how many days you can progress. So I think that app is very good, and it is very practical also. So I think we get, and then for
Naz is doing lot of muscle
not
strengthening,
much, sir.
weightlifting, everything.
Not-
Excellent to see that.
Yes, not only that, and there is a Strava app which all of us know. Since many of us want to do this cardio exercises, you can follow on that, and you know how many steps, how much of the distance you have traveled, and cycling, biking, walking, elevation gain, and everything. So I think these are the two important things we can just track ourselves if you want to. But then I don't think every time we have to depend on gadgets to track ourselves.
Yeah.
Yes,
And going by steps is a little bit
Yeah.
mistake, because even baby steps are counted as one
Yes,
step.
steps. Yes, sir. Distance is important.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Noted. Thank you, sir.
Okay, you
Yeah.
can
I
conclude.
have some
Yeah, we
questions
can
for Dr. Arunodaya, sir.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Naz ma'am has asked, marathon, is it dangerous for beginners?
No, you'll have to, if a person who's inactive for many years, first he has to undergo a medical evaluation. Only then you can start with the initial brisk walk, 15 to 20 minutes for a week, or till he feels easy, comfortable. And then you can move on to jog for 15, 20 minutes, and then increase the duration to 30 minutes till he feels comfortable. Then later on, you can start with the running. The duration is important, like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. The duration is important, not the speed or the pace. And aerobic, there are two types of running, aerobic and anaerobic. This aerobic running is having a more effects, and the aerobic running it actually helps in all the developments. But anaerobic exercises, like in sprinters who run with a speed, it causes the lactic acid metabolism, which lowers the pH, and it's having a lot of side effect. They lose interest, and it causes staleness. So it's always better to have the aerobic type of exercises where you'll have to listen to your body. Actually, your body will tell you what is the pace you can maintain, speed. You'll have to go with it. I think that's the best thing.
And the second question by Dr. Chandrasekhar, sir. Is running advised for senior citizens?
Yes, actually, as I told you, the same thing. You listen to your body, and then you go. Don't compare with others, and start slowly. And you can gradually you can build on it. There is no age limit for this. Everyone can run. I have learned many things from the elders. Being 70 years, 80 years, they are so consistent. They are so consistent, and daily they run 2 kilometers, 5 kilometers, and weekends they run 10 kilometers. They have a day for a recovery also, and so there is no age limit.
So you mean to say
Definitely, the running it helps you.
You mean to say
Narayan
gradually you
Swami wants
start
to
and
ask a question, I think.
Yeah,
Dr.
yeah,
Narayan,
Narayan.
orthopedician. Yes, please.
I am from Hospital, sir, Dr. Narayan
Yes.
Naik.
Yes.
Sir, my question is to Arunodaya, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sir, I am a marathon runner. I used to finish 10K in 63 minutes. Since last 1 year, I am down and lack of motivation. And my laziness is also compounding.
Your
laziness is also compounding.
Voice is not audible, sir.
Compounding, sir.
Not
Little.
Is laziness, sir. My laziness is also increasing.
Okay.
So how to get my back motivation, sir?
Sir, actually, it's better to have a group run. See, you have a group. If you're, it's a proverb. If you run alone, you can go with, you will have a speed. If you want to run for a long distance, you'll have to run together. So if you have a group, the group motivates you and they'll give you feedbacks and the group carries you in the long run. And actually your timing, your pace, everything will improve when you have a group run. I think you should join some group who are very consistent and that motivates you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I think you can conclude, Dr. Raghuveer,
Yeah,
before people start leaving.
we can conclude, I think.
Yes, I
Yes,
think.
sir. Yes,
Yes.
sir. It was a
Thank you,
wonderful
one and all.
evening.
Thank you.
Thank
It was
you.
a wonderful evening. Thank you so much, all the speakers, and I learned a lot.
Yeah.
And I think I will have to meet Dr. Sandeep sir again, as ma'am said. And I thank Dr. Sandeep sir. I thank Dr. H.V. Shivaram sir. And I thank my dear senior Dr. Arunodaya sir and Dr. Gaurang for making this event successful. And thank you, Naz ma'am. Thank you, Sarvesh sir. Thank you, one and all, everybody here.
Yeah.
Dr.
Now
Sarvesh.
I request that Gadi Divakar,
Yes.
Secretary ASI, for his comments.
Yeah, good
Divakar?
evening, everyone. Yeah, I was there throughout
Yeah.
with my
Yes,
video
yes.
switched off. That's an excellent talk. All the speakers have a brief, though we had some myths about our nutrition, the gut biome, everything, and we used to follow our own regimen. They have put everything in a proper perspective. So that's up to us how we take that. And Dr. Shivaram is an inspiration of past chairman and AC member. We should see him and get ourselves motivated to keep ourselves fit. And thanks for inviting me to give this comment. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
And I saw the Dr. Rajgopal Shadai putting this one. Probably this should have been there 25 years back.
So you can start now, sir. Never
I
late.
fully, because I am not in this excellent session of the following Dr. Shivaram or Dr. Sandeep or Dr. Gaurang or Dr. Arunodaya. Excellent, sir. Because my biochemistry is so poor, I did not even understand for some time, that all these things. But however, excellent session, because it should generate the interest among the surgeons that we ignore our health 100%.
Yes,
In addition to this, there's never ending for all this diet only the factor, but apart from the stress, etc. So whatever it is, today's session. Sir, hats off to you people, sir. Dr. Sandeep, Dr. Shivaram, Dr. Arunodaya, and Gaurang, sir.
Thank you.
I
All
run
of
10
you
kilometers. I run 10
join
kilometers
our
every day.
family get together. Dr.
It
Sandeep
was
will
an
be coming,
excellent
and 3
program
days
today.
we can have session with him.
Yes.
I
We
run 10
invite all of
kilometers.
you, all the panelists, including Gaurang, Dr. Gaurang, Dr. Arunodaya, Dr. Sandeep. Of course, we are sure Dr. Shivaram sir will be there. Each one of you, please come for this Hampi family get together we have. All of you I'm inviting. So it's going to be a wonderful session with trekking and sightseeing and family time with entertainment, everything included. A full package for two nights and 3 days. So that is, I'll share the details soon. Yes.
Sir,
Everybody else
motivation
also.
for
Yes,
Dr.
what we
Rajgopal.
say is,
I run 10 kilometers every day, and I run 21 kilometers on a Sunday. And I am 56 years right now. By 60, I want to run international marathons. That's the reason I have reduced 20 kilos.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
Good, sir.
We can start at any age, sir, because we have seen people starting to lift at the age of 65, 70 years, and they're doing fine. So I think for it is the mind is the inhibition here. That's all. So
ಸರ್ ಇವತ್ತು ಥಿಯರಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಇಷ್ಟಿಂದ ಇದರದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ.
ಹೌದು.
I request all our members to join there, and I request Chairman KCSA to put the closing comments.
Yes.
And afterwards, Dr. Gurbasan Goda will go for vote of thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Sarvesh. Thank you all for joining this wonderful evening and for this wonderful program. And a big kudos to all the panelists, Dr. Shivaram, Dr. Arunodaya, Dr. Sandeep, and Dr. Gaurang Ramesh. And we should understand that we must, this leaves us with a simple message that good health does not require perfection. It requires informed choices, consistency, and a sustainable lifestyle. let us all question the myths. We as doctors are surrounded with a lot of myths regarding nutrition. And I think most of the doubts have been cleared, and we will start looking at the labels, whatever we get. Every item what we eat, we should start looking at the labels before the industry starts cheating us. And let us understand the science and take responsibility for our health, for our family's health, as well as our patient's health. Thank you all for joining, and I hope it was very useful to each one of you. Thank you.
ಆದ್ರೂ ಇವತ್ತು ನಾವು ಊಟ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡೋ ತರ ಮಾಡ್ಬಿಟ್ರಿ ನಮ್ಗೆ.
ಮಾಡ್ಲೇಬೇಕ್ರಿ.
ಏನ್ tips ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂನು.
ಅಲ್ಲ, ನೀವು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನು ಆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದು. ಶುಡ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್? ಫೈನಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. Is a breakfast must or not?
First meal, I call it first meal of the day. Don't call it breakfast.
Yes, first meal of the day.
See, if you're doing ETRF, early time restricted feeding, you can have breakfast at 8 o'clock, you can have lunch at 12 o'clock. That's the best thing you can have in the world. Breakfast at 8 o'clock, lunch at 12 o'clock. 2 meals.
Yes.
ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಗಾದೆ ಇದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಗೊತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ನಾಸ್?
Yes, sir.
I know.
ಒಂದೊತ್ತುಂಡವ ಯೋಗಿ, ಎರಡು ಹೊತ್ತುಂಡವ ಭೋಗಿ ಅಂತ.
Yes.
ಮೂರೊತ್ತುಂಡವ ರೋಗಿ, ನಾಲ್ಕು ಹೊತ್ತು ಉಂಡವನು ಎತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಅಂತ.
Yes.
That's very true.
Yes, sir. I think this is one of the best surgeons time we had here. I think everybody takes their pie from here. But here, Dr. Raghuveer has taken Herculean task here and keeping the subject very interesting from very dynamic people and very well-known people. I'm sure this will stimulate, or what do you call it, give inspiration. It's not for the youngsters, probably oldsters like us also, how you should eat and how you should work upon for all these things. Anyway, thank you, Dr. Raghuveer, for making this event very great success. Thank you very much again. Sir, thank you, sir. Thank you, Sandeep, sir. Thank you, Arunodaya, sir. Dr. Shivaram, sir, you are great. You know everything here and you made it a real point. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, Gaurang. That's wonderful talk from your gut health and all things. I also thank Dr. Divakar, who is Under Secretary SI, for making this event and giving his best comments here. Thank you very much, Dr. Divakar. I also thank Dr. Naz Madam. Martin.
Yes, Martin.
I thank Dr. Naz Madam. I don't know, she spoke so much, she put so many questions in the chat boxes, and she knows a lot. I am sure she has made it, and I think she's very happy with this thing. Thank you, man, for making this a great success. Sarvesh sir, as always, is cooperative and working hard for the society, for the association. Thank you very much, sir, for being here. Raghuveer M, sir, thank you very much for staying with us and giving your inputs. And of course, other EC members here, thank you very much. And I saw Dr. Prabhakar and sir also here. Thank you, sir, for attending this. I thank Dr. Siddartha, sir, who is National Past SI Chairman and Present Social Welfare